Speedway style. Here at the Big T, as we get ready to go racing. Thompson Speedway is a home of modified racing 4 times. The Whelen Modified Tour cars make the trip here to this 5/8 mile oval. NASCAR has waved the start off for debris out in turn 2. We'll go around one more time before we get ready to go. Look at the colossal battle up there on the front row.
It already started and the green flag hasn't waved yet. And already Kobe and Bonsignor are jousting for position.
Doug Kobe, a 5-time NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, was trying to win 5 in a row when the guy next door at his right elbow in that 51, the young kid from Hotesville, New York on Long Island, Justin Bonsignor, stole his thunder. Kobe, he swept the races here in 2016. Would love to be able to do that again and get back to Thompson Speedway victory lane, but Justin Bonsignor, he's going for history of his own. 5 Thompson wins in a row. Wants to get 6 here tonight, and everybody else in the field wants to stop him.
So we get ready as our field inches its way into turn number 2. Well, during the past couple of months, Joe Koss has been traveling all over the country, but the place he likes best is right here at Thompson Speedway, especially when the Whelen Modified Tour is getting ready for 125 laps of mayhem. So to take you to the start-finish line, here is Joe Koss.
Getting set to start the Thompson 125, the pole sitter Doug Kobe starting in the outside lane of the number 2 Mayhew Tools Chevrolet. Justin Bonsignor going for 6 straight Thompson wins on the bottom as the field rolls off turn number 4, and Bob Slade shows him the green flag. We are racing the Whelen Modified Tour to the bottom of turn 1.
Kobe making an early statement as he gets by Bonsignor, moves in front. Swanson tried to duplicate that move, was shut off by Bonsignor, and a strong start by Burt Myers in the top 4.
Myers now riding a bit deeper in the field as he tries to challenge to the inside of Ronnie Silk in that 85. Myers settles in line right ahead of Eric Goodale. Behind them, a good battle now between Andrew Krause and the 24. He starts to look to the inside lane, but he loses the nose. Caution flag is out here on the opening circuit. Caution is out, debris to the top of the racetrack up in turn 4. The piece of metal sitting up there will bring out the caution flag here. Safety services vehicles already rolling to retrieve that piece of debris. It'll slow us down
just
here.
In case it goes green most of the second half of the race, they may get in here early. I've heard that from 3 or 4 of the crew chiefs so far.
Pete Falcone working along pit lane just behind pit stall number 10, doing a great job for us here today. And you know what, Matt? There's a thing in the air that we're watching a little bit tonight. There is weather that could come into play tonight, and so the pit strategy may be a little different than what they walked into a racetrack here today thinking they could do.
Well, we could see some short pitting. Of course, when the caution comes out on lap number 2, that is way too short. Jimmy Blewett, they've taken 2 pieces off the front of that car. So maybe not the greatest looking car, but he'll try to bring it from the rear to the clear in car number 21. So a little modification to that number 21 car, and it looks like we are just about ready to resume after the first caution. Joey Muchacharo is still stranded on pit road, so our safety vehicle in a hurry to get off the track, and we could have the stage set for racing with Joey Muchacharo perhaps trapped on pit road.
Pace car about ready to come in. Whelen Engineering lights have gone out around the speedway. Justin Bonsignor to the bottom. The race leader, Doug Kobe, taking the outside lane, which if you're watching from home is a preferred lane on restarts here at Thompson. As he brings it down to the front straightaway, the green flag is displayed, and we're back underway. Bonsignor running at the bottom. Kobe up high, and Kobe right out in front again.
Second verse, same as the first, as Kobe. He just launches himself into the lead. Craig Lutz moves by Bonsignor into second.
Strong run early for Lutz to take over the second spot. A little bit deeper on. You see some good battles here. Is now Burt Myers. He's got the outside lane rolling in his favor. He goes to third around Justin Bonsignor. And side-by-side action between Sammy Raymer with the 06 and the 92 of Anthony Nocella.
Boy, a little 4-arm shiver to the back bumper of the Kobe car administered by Lutz. So Lutz being very physical. as they steamroll their way down the front straightaway. A big jam behind them in about 10th place. Anthony Nacella trying to get away from Andrew Krause.
Boy, Craig Lutz is not a guy that you look towards being super aggressive out on the racetrack. He knows he's got a really good race car, and that second place, number 46 here tonight, putting a lot of pressure on the race leader, Doug Kobe, across the line.
And also in the picture is Burt Myers in the 36. Justin Bonsignor was second. Traded back to fourth. Here comes once again as he bludgeons his way to the back bumper of the Kobe car. Craig Lutz, it is a steel cage match as far as he's concerned.
He's got a lot of confidence. 2 top 5s in the last 3 races on tour, and he wants to build on the success he's had here at Thompson in the past. Lutz is there. He rolls the center of the corner much better than Doug Kobe. Kobe likes to run away and hide. It shows you how strong Craig Lutz is here tonight because he is putting on the heat in turn 3.
He has had second place finishes before, but never a victory. Now goes down low, trying to make a move. Like soda out of a shaken can. Craig Lutz hits by Kobe to move in front.
That's a dominating move. Craig Lutz just 13 laps in. To go by Doug Kobe like that. Here's Burt Myers now. Looking inside off turn 4, but tucks it back in line.
And in fourth is Bonsignor trying to hold off Matt Swanson. Silk is 6th. And then Chris Patriak. But the surprise already administered by Craig Lutz as he was able to get the lead away from Doug Kobe, and he has already earned a bonus point.
Like what I see out of Burt Myers here in the early stages. He's had some good runs here at Thompson in the past, but he's struggled every other run prior to that. Tonight, Dane Zapienza out of the race car because of injury. 36 belongs to Burt Myers. Won Saturday night down at Bowman Dre. He's got a lot of momentum on his side, too.
As Burt Myers has had some good runs at Thompson, but never any great runs. He is going to try to change that focus tonight. Bonsignor, like a mosquito, trying to harass that number 36 car. Maybe the best battle a little deeper as Patriak holding off Matt Zackham. So as they jackhammer their way into turn number 1, it is still Craig Lutz in control.
75 of Chris Patriak impressed us during the qualifying, and he is showing that he's got a lot of speed in that car. He was 5th when we started this race. Max Zackham, a part-time runner, family operation. Bruce Baca, who owns this modified, supporting him in that 20 car. Trying to put a move on Patriak. This is a battle for the 7th spot, and Zackham's going to sneak on through and take it away.
Boy, he made it look easy as he was able to submarine his way underneath Patriak. Behind them is Nacella. Andrew Krause getting a challenge from Woody Pitcat in the orange number 82. And Woody just doesn't have the giddy up to get underneath the 24. Lutz with a little bit of daylight against Doug Kobe.
Opening up a 2-car length advantage. We continue to watch the battle between Andrew Krause and the Wall Stadium winner, the 82, of Woody Pitcat off turn number 4. Pitcat looking inside, trying to crack the top 10. As he moves inside, Krause up high. Advantage, Pitcat off 2.
Now Bonsignor's come back to life as he is trying to torment the back bumper of the Burt Myers car. Myers tried to make a move underneath Kobe and it cost him a little momentum, and that puts Bonsignor back into the picture.
Bonsignor now a car length off the back bumper. There's Craig Lutz, the 46, the race leader. The 2 is Doug Kobe in 2nd. The battle for 3rd, the 36 of Myers, and the 51 of Bonsignor. Behind them, Ronnie Silk. At purple 85 going inside. Wants to get underneath Moeller Racing number 3 for Matt Swanson.
And he has leverage as he is able to whirling dervish his way underneath Matt Swanson. Now trying to make a move again is Bonsignor, and he is having a difficult time figuring out how to get by Burt Myers.
Biding his time. 24 laps into the Thompson 125. Still over 100 laps to go. You see Myers working the top and the bottom. We saw Priest earlier in the Sunoco modified feature event run the bottom, searching for grip. You see the same thing out of Myers. He runs high on entry, pulls the car low on exit. You see the momentum he gains, and he's now able to draw alongside Kobe at the bottom of turn 1 and 2.
And he got 3/4 of the way underneath him before faltering back. Here comes Bonsignor. He almost went on the outside of Myers. He's going to try it again. Ron Silk has become a player in car number 85. And while they duke it out, Craig Lutz is able to expand his lead as Lutz is out in front by almost a half a second.
Ronnie Silk was always good at this racetrack. He drives that purple 85, also an event winner this year. Kevin Stewart owns the modified. Back in 2010, 2011, when Ronnie Silk was driving for the T.S. Haulers team and Eddie Parker, he was the guy to beat at Thompson. Everybody knew you had to beat Ronnie Silk on race day. Right now he's sitting in 5th, trying to challenge to the inside of Bonsignor.
Here comes Myers underneath Kobe. He is even as they are body pierced together coming out of turn number 4. And it will be Burt Myers to move into second. Kobe drops back to third.
Still early in the race, but Kobe is backpedaling. Now Ronnie Silk looks to the bottom, but drove it in a bit too deep on corner entry, and he loses a ton of ground.
Driving in deep is Bonsignor as he tries to blur underneath Doug Kobe. And he will be able to whirlwind his way underneath the 2 car to move into third, and he's taking Silk with him.
Silk sees daylight to the inside, sideways off turn 2. He gathers it back in, loses 2 car lengths, back to Doug Kobe. That allows Swanson into 3 to close in as he starts to pound the back bumper of Ronnie Silk. Behind them, how about the lap time, Max Zackham. Car number 20, 19.6. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack is the 20 of Zackham. He started in the 12th position. He's up to 7th in just 29 laps.
Lutz had a very difficult time getting by Sutcliffe and Cole, and it's a little easier for Burt Myers as the slower cars stay on the inside. Jimmy Blewett made a green flag pit stop. He is coming back out. He is no longer on the lead lap. And Bonsignor trying to stay within striking distance of Burt Myers in the fight for second.
To update you on where Ryan Priest is running, started 19th. He's running 15th. Has not made a ton of progress toward the front of the field, but this is a strategy race. Anything can happen. We've seen strange things happen in this race, depending on when the cautions fall throughout the race. We'll keep an eye on that as the night goes on.
For many people, the race doesn't start until after the final pit stop. Right now, Lutz is leading by about the length of a $5 Uber ride over Burt Myers, with Bonsignor crowding the number 36 car. And Matt Swanson having a very solid run. He started 4th, has dropped back to 6th, and this is his home track. He started at the Little T, and Max Zackham has turned a lot of heads in this race. He is 1 spot behind Swanson.
Zackham on the charge. He stalled out once he got to Swanson. Has not been able to put any pressure on him. He's been about a car length or 2 behind after this long run. Just a few years ago, Matt, that both of these drivers, both Swanson and the 20 of Zackham, nearly won their first race, and it came at this racetrack in this race. Very, very good run. That was back in the 2017 season. They both had a lot of success here.
And Doug Kobe just hasn't looked like Doug Kobe during the first 1/3 of this race, as Silk almost got the schnoz of that car underneath the 2 as they scamper their way into the 4th corner. Silk is within striking distance, so Kobe is under intense pressure from the 85 of Ron Silk.
Making his way down pit road another time is Jimmy Blewett in the 21 car, so problems continue there. We continue to watch this battle between Doug Kobe and Ronnie Silk. It's a battle for 4th. Both drivers champions, 2011 champ. Ronnie Silk in that 85 gave Kevin Stewart his first whelen modified tour win earlier in the season at South Boston.
And here he comes underneath Kobe, completes the move. Ron Silk has infiltrated the top 4 with a razzle-dazzle move underneath Kobe in turn 2.
Swanson now closing in as well in that 3 car. Riding back in 6th, Zackham, we talked about a moment or 2 ago. Chris Pastriak in the 75 had made gains early on in the run, but as we've gone deeper into this tire run, now 38 laps in, his car not as strong on the longer run, starting to conserve a bit. Riding right there in touch with the leaders, but back in 8th.
Now we see Pastriak. Kyle Elwood is next, but he is not on the lead lap. Woody Pitcat is currently running 9th. And right behind him is John McKennedy. And that patriotic red, white, and blue car up at the front. Nothing's changed. It's joyride time for Lutz, but things have gotten closer for second. Here comes Bonsignor. Catapult move underneath Myers. It didn't stick.
Has to duck back in line of the back straightaway. It's the battle for the second spot. Myers, 36. Bonsignor, 51 to the bottom.
Boy, every time you think Bonsignor is going to ride it out for a few laps, he comes up with a move. Right now, he is trying to take Canaveral's way underneath that number 36 of Myers and can't get close to make things interesting. And all by his lonesome is the 46 of Craig Lutz, having one of the best runs in his life.
Caution flag is out. 42 laps into the Thompson 125. So this will make the strategy pretty interesting here with 83 laps to go. And Pete Falcone had mentioned a bit earlier.
For the first 45 laps or so, we'll see if it comes back to life. Right now, the front row populated by Craig Lutz, who is elected to go to the outside. And on the inside is Burt Myers with Bonsignor and Silk on the second row. So we are ready to turn up the volume in the Thompson 125.
Let's see what Craig Lutz can do here against a modified veteran. Burt Myers on the bottom. Gets a good jump as they come off the line. Lutz leads the field down into turn one. Myers is there. Wheel to wheel now for the third spot. Bonsignor digging on the bottom. Outside, it's Ronnie Silk.
And Swanson wants to be part of that battle. Silk gets by Bonsignor. Attacks the back bumper of the Burt Myers car. As they swirl off the corner, Myers in second, but he has plenty of company behind him.
A little bit deeper in the field, we see Doug Kobe dropping back on the inside lane. Here comes Chris Pastriak to go by to the outside lane. More cars starting a freight train, including Max Zackham. Now Woody Pitcock's going to sail it in deep to the outside of turn three.
And he tries to get by Doug Kobe by doing that. They are even, as those two drivers are paper-clipped together with Pitcock getting the advantage coming off the corner.
Dead even across. That's the battle for 8. And Pitcock wins out. Behind them, Patrick Emmerling is working to the bottom of the 7 New York car of John McKennedy. Emmerling coming off of a win at Spencer Speedway over the weekend of the RLC Tour. McKennedy was out in front in IMSA competition when he was running a super modified when the engine expired.
Bonsignor getting by Silk. He is in third place. Bonsignor did a very interesting thing. Went high in turn number 2 to get help from the banking, and then he had enough energy to get by Silk.
More so than other nights, Matt. We've seen a lot of drivers try to take advantage of that momentum of the banking. And Bonsignor tried it again and opened up the gap some more, getting off of turn number 2. Silk trying to run the inside lane. Pastriak in that 75 still becoming a factor here.
And Matt Swanson rounding out the top 5, one spot ahead of Pastriak, who has looked pretty formidable in the last handful of laps. Craig Lutz, his lead not as big as it was a few moments ago, as Myers staying within striking distance. And Pastriak leading the next contingent of cars. Woody Pitcock looks pretty strong. And now McKennedy with a fireball move against Kobe. That is a fight for 9th place. And McKennedy almost pulled it off. He's going to try it again.
McKennedy drove deep down into turn 3 the last time through. Loses a nose this time at the exit of turn 2. And a lot of ground back to Doug Kobe. Kobe's race car reportedly tight as he tries to close in on Woody Pitcock. And you're right though, Matt. Pitcock does look good in this 82 here tonight. Here's George Brunhosel, the third in that one car, drives underneath Brian Priest. And that'll pick up a spot for him. He'll move into 15th.
Eric Goodale has started to pick up the pace. Currently running in the number 11 spot. He is holding off Patrick Emmerling. So Goodale didn't qualify well tonight, but he is trying to make up for it. Bonsignor going after Burt Myers. As we are approaching the halfway point of this race, it'll be on lap number 62 and a half. But things are getting interesting in the battle between Meyer and Bonsignor, and it looks like both of them are closing in on Craig Lutz.
Well, Burt Myers is running exactly where Justin Bonsignore needs his car to be. He likes that higher groove around the racetrack, so it's becoming very difficult for him to find room to the inside to pass. You see him this time through, follow right in the tire tracks, but now there's that momentum move you were talking about earlier in the day. He just didn't have it quite right that time to get him on the backstretch.
Boy, he almost got him in turn number 3. Meyer's car almost went sideways. Almost a dead even battle between Meyer and Bonsignore. So the top 3 cars could fit in a shower cap with Craig Lutz getting some intense competition.
Craig Lutz out in front by about 6 car lengths behind this battle here. For second, Burt Myers and Justin Bonsignore, your top 3 right there. Ronnie Silk in distant 4th, but the best battle on the racetrack is a 1 for second between Myers and Bonsignore.
And then behind them, Silk fighting with Swanson. Then it's Pastriak and Max Sackham, 2 Connecticut guys. But here is Bonsignore's got it cranked up again, looking for some momentum. And Meyer running a pretty strong race. As you said, he is putting the car right where Bonsignore wants to put his car. So Bonsignore baffled at the moment by the prowess of Burt Myers.
Burt Myers, the entire game down to Walnut Cove, North Carolina, watching alongside here, running in the 2nd spot, trying to see if their driver, with Dave Zappienza standing in the infield watching, can go to the top spot. Off turn number 2, he's within 1 car length behind Craig Lutz, who's looking for his first Whelen Modified Tour win.
But his lead has shrunk quicker than a $20 bill at a gas pump. It has almost disappeared with Bonsignore in the neighborhood. Swanson tries to go up high. He's currently in 5th place, and he tried to use the high groove to his liking. And Ron Silk, pretty crafty tonight.
Always is. Smooth as silk, riding there in the 4th spot, and look at the top 3. A car length separating each of the cars, Lutz, Myers, and Bonsignore. There's Myers now, a little bit of trickery, trying to see if he can change his lane. It cost him momentum, and that allowed Bonsignore to drive to the bottom and into 2nd.
Boy, you make a mistake against Bonsignore, and you lose a position. Now Bonsignore in 2nd. He is targeting the back bumper of the Lutz car. Slower cars in front. Melissa Fifield, the first driver that the leaders have to get by, and there are no issues. And now Wade Cole is in front of them. So 67 laps have been completed. Lutz has led 4 laps today than he has all season. But how much longer can he continue to lead? Because Bonsignore is right there with him.
Yeah, career high lap led for Craig Lutz. Bonsignore knows if a caution comes out, a pit stop is coming. He wants to be out front for a couple of reasons. He can control the pace of the restart. He can be the first car on pit lane. And he can control the pace of the race. He's going after it now. He's been given the green light by Ryan Stone, his crew chief. 68 laps into the Thompson 125. And Bonsignore is on the charge.
And Lutz trying to protect his first place turf. A distant third now is Myers, so he has lost a lot of ground. Silk trying to take advantage of that in the top 4, but the battle is up at the front. In the spotlight, Craig Lutz from Miller Place, Long Island, and Justin Bonsignore from Holtsville, Long Island. So it's a battle on Long Island here at Thompson Speedway.
Boy, those Long Islanders have loved invaded the Connecticut short tracks and stealing the thunder away from the local guys. And they have certainly captured victory many, many times here before. Bonsignore tried at that time through turns 1 and 2, but he couldn't make it stick. Lutz is hanging tough there in the top spot. Bonsignore putting a lot of pressure on the young driver.
His choreography has been great. Let's see what he does here. Just nosedives on the bottom, but he can't dive bomb underneath Lutz. Lutz, what a job he has done to protect his lead, because it looks like to the naked eye that Bonsignore has a faster car.
Got some lap traffic up ahead. Ken Hagee directly in front of the race leaders. Try to work around him. His way to the bottom. Bonsignore tried to get a run off turn 2, but Hagee was there, and he's got to wait a moment. Wade Cole on the inside lane. Now here they go again through turns 3 and 4 in a battle for the top spot.
And almost getting the nose of that car underneath Lutz was Justin Bonsignore. They try it again as they are able to blister their way down the backstretch. Let's see what Bonsignore can do. He closes in, but I think the lap car of Carroll slowed down his progress.
Bonsignore's got plenty of time. Still 51 laps to go in the Thompson 125. Got the bumper underneath Lutz, but doesn't have momentum.
Well, one thing Lutz is doing, he is staying up high in between turns 1 and 2, and that's taking away that move that Bonsignor likes to go up at the corner and then dive bomb down low. So Lutz is taking that move away from the 51.
Yeah, he's testing the focus of Lutz. When you know you've got a 5-time winner, consecutive winner, on your back bumper, and a 10-time Thompson winner, hounding you for the race lead and not making a mistake. We saw Burt Myers, one slip, and Bonsignor capitalized. Lutz has not slipped yet, even with one of the best right on his back bumper.
So that margin remains the same between Lutz and Bonsignor, less than a car length. Meyer has a safe lead over the 85 of Silk. And Silk has been passed by the 3 of Swanson. So Silk has lost a position, and Matt Swanson is now in the top 4, and it looks like Swanson has some firepower.
Yeah, Swanson looks good. You mentioned it earlier, Matt, in that 3 car, they brought the same setup that they ran here in the August race, the Bud 150, finished in the top 3. Bonsignor again trying on Lutz, not doing it. Can't get it done off turn 2, he keeps trying him.
Boy, that is quite a show up at the front. As Lutz, once again, hugs the high groove, and that means that Bonsignor has to behave himself in turn number 2, as he can't go up high and get the momentum like he would like in order to make a slingshot move down low. So Craig Lutz doesn't have all that much experience in the car. This is his 4th year on tour, but he is getting the maximum out of that Riverhead Building Supply number 46.
This is a relatively new part of this team. They picked it up towards the end of last year, the LFR chassis. This year it seemed to be really working well for them. Lutz protecting the bottom a little bit more this time, running the middle group through turns 3 and 4. Bonsignor didn't have anywhere to go, and he's going to lose some momentum.
So Craig Lutz continues to have the upper hand against Bonsignor. Craig Lutz a little different than most of the Long Island drivers. Most of the Long Island guys get their start at Riverhead. Craig Lutz, on the other hand, he went to the Connecticut tracks, Thompson, Stafford, and Waterford, to learn how to drive an SK Light, and then eventually a tour car, but he didn't race very much at Riverhead, unlike most of the Long Island contingent.
Pretty quiet, unassuming driver, keeps to himself, focused on racing. Doug Ojeko, who is a crew chief on this machine, that combination has worked so well since they married up in the recent past. Woody Pitcat stepped out of that ride. They earned a pole position the first time out, and from then on, it has been a very positive relationship. Jeff Goodale and the Goodale family owned the modified in that 46. And when Lutz got behind the wheel, the success skyrocketed. Today, a banner night for them, 84 laps in, a career high lap led in one event, and he's 40 laps away from seeing if he can battle for the win in the Thompson 125.
And Lutz leading by a billy club. Things always get interesting in turn 2. Bonsignor, content to stay behind, now in turn number 3. He almost bushwhacked the back bumper of the car. Here he comes. Bonsignor in a bid for the lead.
Once you get that right front tire out in front here at Thompson, you've got the advantage on the bottom. Let's see what Bonsignor can do with it now that it goes side by side into turn 1. Bonsignor runs up the racetrack. The old slide job, but here comes Lutz. Dropping it down to the inside. Draws up to the door of Bonsignor in turn 3.
And Bonsignor was able to shut the door. Now Lutz trying to regroup. It happened on lap number 86 with Bonsignor taking the lead. Now remember, we expect a pit stop to happen before too long, so that will change the strategy. But Justin Bonsignor has taken the lead as we are down to the final 38 laps.
So what will happen next? There's your top 2. You go way back to get the 3rd place car of Burt Myers. There's a good distance, about 3 seconds behind in the 3rd spot, making his way off turn number 2 now. And about a half a straightaway back, you go to the 4th place machine of Matt Swanson. Swanson in the 3 car. And Ronnie Silk, who's another half a straightaway behind there in the 85. is running in the 5th spot. The 85 of Silk, always crafty. You never really count him out on the racetrack because you never know what he's going to do. McKennedy the same. Last year at the Icebreaker, if McKennedy didn't run out of gas, he was going to win the race. Garrett Thompson, he's 6th right now. It's starting to close in on Ronnie Silk, one of the best battles on the racetrack.
And Ronnie Silk, I think he might need a pit stop. Here comes McKennedy making that bold, aggressive move down under. And McKennedy will torpedo his way underneath Ron Silk. So we are down to 35 laps to go. Bonsignor on target for his 6th consecutive win at Thompson, but he is going to have to bob and weave his way through some slower traffic, and that could give Lutz an opportunity to get back.
Yeah, there is a lot of lap traffic, but Justin Bonsignor is working through it okay. Ronnie Silk's car was falling off for a little while, but he's able to keep pace with John McKennedy, about a car length off the back bumper. So they're working for turns 3 and 4. Behind them, Chris Pastriak had a really good run early on, charged up on those fresh tires. That 75 car started 5th, fell back early on the opening start because he was down on the bottom, rallied back up through, and now he's running 7th just ahead of Max Zackham, the part-time runner who rides in 8th in that orange numeral number 20, the black car. That makes his way off turn 4 now.
Lutz having a more difficult time getting by Kraus than Bonsignor did, so he loses up some ground. The first caution came on lap number 2, then we had one on lap number 46, and that has been it. And none of the front runners have pitted so far in this race.
Eric Goodale a moment ago went by Woody Pitkat. Doug Colby did as well, so Woody Pitkat in 1 lap, losing 2 spots to fall outside the top 10 of the 82 car. He's now back to 11th.
Doug Colby started on the pole. He is 10th, trying to move up. Eric Goodale directly in front of him. McKennedy in 5th, and McKennedy is one of those guys who likes to charge at the end. But it is Bonsignor who took the lead on lap number 86. And he is leading by about the length of a SUV over Craig Lutz.
So I tell you what, we're down to the final 29 laps. A caution now would certainly make it interesting if they had the opportunity to come down and get tires in some of those cars that did not come down pit road as of yet. And you got to picture that some of the cars who did come down probably love to be able to gain a whole bunch of track position if they can stay on the lead lap. How about this battle here? Burt Myers in the 36 is battling with Matt Swanson in the 3. That battle has tightened up quite a bit in the battle for 3rd. Working to the bottom of turns 3 and 4. The lap machine of Calvin Carroll to the inside lane of Swanson. They make quick work of him. And Swanson's car charging here at the end, trying to get another podium finish at Thompson Speedway, a track that Matt, I think you can call either his favorite, if not certainly one of the best tracks he has on tour.
As a graduate from the Little Key, and he raced here in 2008. Yellow comes out, and there is a melee in turn number 1.
The 07 of Patrick Emmerling is involved. The 92 car of Anthony Nocella has bent the front of that machine
He's taken
upward.
almost everybody with him.
Robbie Summers stays on track. He is a free pass driver. Here comes Bonsignor, his pit stall all the way on the turn 1 end of pit road. Craig Lutz, Dave Zapienza, Matt Swanson, John McKennedy, and just about every car on the lead lap is on pit road, Pete.
And about to get real busy here as Justin Bonsignor pulls into his spot. And here is Doug Colby. Those are the guys that got to make more adjustments than everybody else. It appears that Bonsignor just taking tires. Colby had reported the car being tight for most of the green flag run. Therefore, they're looking to make adjustments on that. They work on the right side of the Burt Myers car, right front tire going on right now. And again, service is completed for the 51. He is away. However, the 7 gets out ahead of him, and here comes Myers out of the pits following Doug Colby.
All the cars that are down a lap now come onto pit road, with one exception, and that's Rob Summers. If he comes into pit, he would lose his free pass.
So Summers will make his way around the pace car, but the guy that won the race off of pit road, that was John McKennedy. He gets that 70-year car out in front. Justin Bonsignor, a rare miss on pit road. We'll see what McKennedy did as far as tires was concerned, but Bonsignor will come out second. He'll likely start on the inside lane. And how about a guy who's won some of the crown jewels here at Thompson. He's won the Icebreaker, he's won the World Series, the 16 car, Timmy Salamito. Pit strategy, giving them track position. He is now up to third. Salamito hadn't cracked the top 10 until this pit stop here with 24 to go.
And he was in an extremely upbeat mood before the race. As he said, he wasn't just going to be good on the last lap, he was going to be good on every lap. That hasn't been the case, but he is in a position. Now, did Craig Lutz, did they count the cars? Because he will be starting on the outside of the second row, which is a pretty advantageous starting position. So I don't know if that was by design or by accident, but Craig Lutz, pretty good position on the, he'll be right behind our leader, Justin Bonsignore.
I got to be honest with you, if I'm Craig Lutz, I've got the best starting position other than winning the race off pit road. And most likely, you know what? You're probably not going to win the race off pit road. I mean, that team, very, very good team, but you're going up against a guy that runs a Cup Series operation in the 7 New York team. They've got a pretty big pit crew. Bonsignore, well, they're pretty good, and we knew the strategy that Salamito played. So if I'm Craig Lutz, outside of being first, fourth is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take that back. It's McKennedy who will be the leader. He'll go to the outside, and Lutz will be perched behind him.
And again, here's why that's so important. The outside lane moves a lot faster on the restarts than the bottom. And so if McKennedy fires off good here, Craig Lutz is going to be in the catbird seat. We know how good his car is here tonight. The question is, will it be McKennedy or Bonsignore who's better on the start? We'll have 19 laps to go when they come back to the line this time by. It's the Thompson 125. They race in August in the Bud 150, one of the best summer races of the year, and it happens on a Wednesday night here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. But for now, 19 to settle the Thompson 125.
A 19-lap scoot for the loot. Bonsignore, what kind of getaway is he going to get? McKennedy, very good on restarts. As they flash dance their way into turn one, McKennedy getting a little shove from Lutz, but it's Bonsignore who will beat him into turn two.
Bonsignore led the way at the bottom, half a car length out in front in a battle for the race lead. McKennedy staying tough there in the outside lane, but Bonsignore prevails off turn four.
Lutz almost climbed up the back bumper of the McKennedy car. Meyer in fourth, and then Doug Colby is moved up into the top five.
That's some pit strategy there. Timmy Salamito now starting to backpedal there with their pit strategy. Battle is on for second. Here comes Lutz working inside of John McKennedy. They bang their cars through turns 3 and 4. Lutz runs him up the racetrack, but McKennedy sticks right with him.
McKennedy almost wound up in the balcony in turn number 4. Now Lutz, he is able to rocket by. Opening for Meyer. Meyer almost poked his nose in there, and Lutz held him off.
How about Burt Myers in that number 36? Working the inside lane, sparks flying through the Doug Colby car as Myers couldn't quite hang on, and Colby is there to challenge.
And having a very hefty lead is Bonsignore, as Lutz has emerged as the man to challenge him. A little deeper in the field, Patriak holding off on so, but the drama is the fight now for third and fourth. Here comes Meyer trying to disrupt the rhythm of McKennedy with Colby along for the ride.
Burt Myers diving down to the inside of turn 1, picks up third. McKennedy back in the gas. Colby trying to stick his nose in there to make it 3 wide. Colby rolls out, McKennedy is there. Bottom McKennedy, top for Burt Myers.
And McKennedy trying to roller coaster his way underneath Myers, can't do it. Myers in full control of third. Here comes Colby as he is able to thunder around McKennedy to move into fourth, and on the verge of taking over fifth, Eric Goodale. We haven't talked about him much in this race, but we can talk about him now.
Good strategy call by Jason Shepard. Eric Goodale, they made the right adjustment here for this sprint to the finish. We're down to 13 laps to go in the Thompson 125, and Justin Bonsignore just turned the fastest lap of the race, a 19.042, and he is setting sail off turn number 4. Bonsignore on the 51, the gap back to the 46 of Lutz.
And the only yellow he wants to see is on the Sunoco side, as Lutz getting a challenge from Meyer. So Meyer, sometimes it seems in the offense game, he's back on top now with Colby right there. A spirited three-way fight for second, and while they do get out, Bonsignore is able to extend his lead Those fresh tires are very friendly to Bonsignor.
Here comes Myers, got that second spot away from Craig Lutz. Kobe trying to make up for some lost ground here in the final few laps. They work around Melissa Fifield at the bottom. Myers up to second. Lutz putting on the heat with Kobe there as well.
Kobe goes to the bottom. Does he have enough ammunition to get by? He does, as he has stampeded his way underneath Lutz. Now he's going after Meyer, who's in second. So Kobe, it looked like he was going to have a lackluster performance, but he has really turned it on in the last 10 laps.
They made the right adjustment there on that 2 car as well. As he runs in the tire track, Bert Myers now dips the wheel down just a bit off turn number 2. And on the back straightaway they go. We come to the line this time by 8 laps remaining.
Kobe going down low, looking to get second away from Myers. Bonsignor keeps on expanding his lead. The question mark hovers over second place. 3 drivers are going after it. And Kobe, every now and then, he goes to the bottom and he looks serious and dangerous.
Kobe looking again on Myers. Tucks it back in line, tries again in turn 1. Up ahead, across the nose of Myers, it's got the spot.
And he maintained his momentum to keep Meyer from crossing him over. So Kobe is in second, but I think he needs help from a yellow flag in order to corral the number 51 of Bonsignor, looking for his 6th consecutive Thompson victory. Can he get that 6-pack?
Kobe was a tenth of a second faster on Justin Bonsignor, but Bonsignor has been running lap times of 19.3, and that's on cruise control for him. Looks in the rearview mirror, sees 5 laps to go ahead, and Bonsignor now 0.2 of a second slower than Doug Kobe. But does he have enough time? Kobe, about 15 car lengths and a half a straightaway behind the race leader, Bonsignor in turn 3.
And Bonsignor could be saving his car in case he needs it for one more double file restart. But Kobe definitely is gaining. Here comes Lutz trying to get on the podium with a power move against Meyer. And it will be Lutz pulling it off with 3 laps to go when they hit the line.
Trying to get another top 5 finish for Craig Lutz. Bonsignor keeping his lap times consistent with a 19.3. Gets faster there. 19.2 for both drivers, but Kobe was quicker.
And Kobe is quicker, but there are only going to be 2 laps to go. So Bonsignor, could this be coronation time for him? What are the odds of winning 6 in a row? He is less than 2 laps away from experiencing it.
Swanson and Kennedy in a good battle for 7th, a little bit deeper in the field with the race leader in turn 3 coming to the white flag. The 51 of Bonsignor.
Good move by Silk to get by Goodale. One more time around for Justin Bonsignor. The drive for 6 is underway.
We've got a car that's spun in turn number 4, but the white flag has already come out. 11th on the winner for Justin Bonsignor. Turns 3 and 4 is where Bonsignor rolls the 70 York of McKennedy. They'll come across the line here this time by for Justin Bonsignor, his 6th consecutive and 11th overall at Thompson Speedway as he wins the Thompson 125.
Morning, I'm feeling down. 'Cause all this life's such a drag. And I can help but stare at my cube and think about what good times we had. 'Cause every day was a Saturday. 'Cause I ain't got a thing to do but have a good time. That's right. Just won't have a good time all night. That's right. That's right. I got some cold shilling on some ice, and all the fellas coming. Gonna drink us up every night. Try to find me a girl or two. I hope you find me a redhead, 'cause I've never been in one. But I bet it'd be a good time. That's right. Just won't have a good time.